Welcome back to another episode of the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast. This is episode 123. I hope everyone is having a great day, great night, wherever you are around the world. A lot to get into on tonight's show. I got my co-host, Max Adams, joining me here on this wonderful Wednesday evening. A lot going on in the NFL. NBA opening night last night with the Celtics and the Knicks. The Lakers and the Timberwolves. LeBron James and Bronny being the first father-son duo in NBA history to debut. We have the WNBA saga right now with the players, if they're going to be playing next season, if there's going to be a lockout, if there's even going to be a WNBA season. DeAndre Hopkins going to the Chiefs. Drake May making his second start for the Patriots. Patriots look rough. Gerard Mayo, Bill Belichick drama, all that stuff there. So without further ado, Max, let's get into the show.
Yes, sir.
How was your weekend?
Great.
Yeah, how about
watch the Bengals game, watch them win while I was on the boat. So doesn't get much better than that.
I honestly almost just forgot. I completely missed the World Series, the Dodgers and the Yankees. The Yankees beating the Guardians, the Dodgers beating the New York Mets. People were hoping for a Subway Series.
Like the league drew it up.
Just like the league drew it up, baby. Just like how they drew it up. I cannot wait for this World Series. It's going to be a great one. Ohtani, Judge, Betts, Freeman, Soto, Garrett Cole versus Jack Flaherty, game 1, Friday night in LA. Did you see the ticket prices for the game? It's insane. Oh my gosh, insane. I mean, I just can't believe it, but I'm excited for the World Series.
Go? You should go.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I have a wedding to go to the next morning.
What's more expensive,
in Rhode Island?
A Taylor Swift Eras Tour ticket or a World Series ticket?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would probably say Eras Tour for sure. It's only game 1 of the World Series. I had this conversation too with a friend of mine, actually, Nick Trigg. I was telling him, I was like, dude, when you think about it, like it's only game 1 of the World Series. Like, yes, it's cool to go to. It's to say you've been and you're up in the nosebleeds and they're $1,000 ticket. But it's like the Super Bowl. It's like you spend all that money. I'd rather spend money on going to the Super Bowl than I would for game 1 of the World Series. But I mean, hey, baseball fans, diehard fans, game 1, game 4, doesn't matter. But there's 7 games compared to Super Bowl where there's 1. It's like, I don't know. I just wouldn't spend $1,000 to sit in the nosebleeds way back where you can't even see it. I'd rather just watch it on TV. It's just, hey, I went to the game. Great. But does it, so, but yeah, game 1 of the World Series, Friday night, Yankees, Dodgers, their 12th time meeting in the postseason. The 2 best teams in baseball all year long. The Dodgers open up as the heavy favorite there.
12th time meeting in the postseason or the World Series, you mean?
I think it's 12th time in the postseason. I wrote it down.
Wouldn't they only meet in the World Series?
Well, back then
were they in the same league at some point?
Well, back then when it was Brooklyn Dodgers, like New York Yankees, I think that's what they might be putting into consideration. I can look it up, but
were they in the same? Were they both in the AL or whatever NL?
Let me see. Yankees and Dodgers. Let's see. Yankees and Dodgers postseason. Let's see. Argue that this matchup, which marks the 12th time met in the World Series, could be more epic. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. They haven't met in the World Series in a long, long time, so they're going back like years ago. However, though, I'm excited for this World Series. It's going to be a great one. Who's your prediction? What do you got?
They've met. They've met in the World Series.
World Series 12. This is their 12th time meeting. Yeah, so they've. Gotcha. That's a lot. That's a lot. Anyways, who do you got winning this World Series?
You have to go with the Dodgers.
Why do you have to go with the Dodgers though? The Yankees are just as good.
Are they?
I mean, yeah. I mean, they just took down.
The Dodgers have the best player of all time.
Shohei Ohtani's not the best player of all time yet. I told you, Shohei Ohtani has to win a ring before you can consider him to be the greatest of all time.
I disagree.
How is Ohtani the greatest of all time?
He's already done everything that no one has ever done.
He hasn't won anything yet, though. It's like it's just like saying.
But is winning an individual stat?
I mean, I know it's a team game, but I mean, to sit there and say like it's just he's the greatest of all time, but he hasn't even gone deep in a postseason yet. This is it now with the Dodgers. This is his first official year, but I mean, if he was that good, he would have carried the Angels to our all-time great. If he's an all-time great, he's on his way. But to say he's the greatest of all time, he would be having to do stuff with the Angels that he hasn't done. So to sit there and say that he's the greatest of all time is
I feel like is so. Do you think Derek Jeter's a better player than Mike Trout?
Do I think Derek Jeter's a better player than overall?
Better baseball player, yeah.
I mean, Mike Trout got hurt so many times. Overall, yeah, I would take Derek Jeter, of course. He's the reason. It's why he's unanimous. You got unanimous, right, for Hall of Fame. You think Trout's better than Derek Jeter? 3,000 hit club.
I think most people would say that.
I don't think they
better
would.
Baseball player.
I mean, what Jeter did back in his day.
We can put a poll on Instagram after this. Who's a better baseball player, Mike Trout or Derek Jeter?
All the old guys would say Derek Jeter for sure. A lot of the modern guys, maybe some of the younger modern guys would say Mike Trout, but you can't give it to Mike Trout over Jeter. That's disrespectful. That's like saying that's like saying a modern day NBA player who's never won anything is better than a five-time
You're confusing winning championships with.
But Derek Jeter, look at Derek Jeter. But look at Derek Jeter's stats compared to Mike Trout's. I mean, Derek Jeter's not some random guy. He's arguably the greatest shortstop of all time. Of course, but Derek Jeter's arguably the greatest shortstop of all time. Mike Trout's not even the greatest at his position of all time.
Okay.
So, I mean, put out a poll. I would take Derek Jeter over Mike Trout. Mike Trout hasn't even been able to stay healthy throughout his entire career.
Okay.
So, anyways, I'm excited for this MLB World Series with the two juggernauts going up and at it. But let's move on to some football. How about the Ravens and the Bucs game Monday night? Because that was the most recent one we just had. Chris Godwin injury, that was tough to watch. Mike Evans got hurt with his hamstring, even though he got his 100th touchdown of all time. Man, I don't know right now. I mean, the Ravens look unstoppable. I know they lost their first two games, but they've won 5 straight. Derrick Henry looks like he's on a whole nother level. We still don't know why the Titans let him go, but I mean, Lamar Jackson is on his way to winning his 3rd MVP. I mean, they look like a total different team from the first 2 weeks. Now, I know it was a total different time in the NFL season. They're kind of getting healthy again, but I mean, they just look like a total different team. I mean, I don't know what happened to the Bucs Monday night. I was hoping for a better game, but I think the main storyline of that game, I'm not sure if you saw this, but Chris Godwin was in the game late there with like a minute 30 left, and people, had their different opinions. Should Chris Godwin still been in the game? I know it shoulda, woulda, coulda at this point. He dislocated his ankle. However, in that situation there, a minute 30, you're down 10. You just got the onside kick. Do you think Chris Godwin should have been in the game? Like, should he have been pulled? Because that was the main conversation from the game.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Yeah, I think in any normal situation, your wide receiver 2 would be in that situation. Even your wide receiver 1 would be in. So it's a shoulda, woulda, coulda. I don't like it. I mean, I'm going to take the opposite side of the fence. I don't think Chris Godwin should have been in that situation. Obviously, I know it shoulda, woulda, coulda, but I think Todd Bowles should have pulled him. You already lost Mike Evans. You're down 10. People say, oh, well, they'll kick a field goal and then they're only down 7 and they'll kick an onside kick. But I think you're trying to play for the rest of the season. You've got the Saints in a division game coming up next week. I didn't understand him being in there late. Obviously now it doesn't matter because he's out for the year, but you just lost your arguably number 2 receiver there, and Chris Godwin out for the year with that injury. So it's tough to see. And the league was reviewing it to see if it was a hip drop tackle or Roquan Smith. It didn't look like a hip drop tackle to me. You can look it up, but still just sucks because Chris Godwin has been so durable. Stupid, Joe.
You don't like the hip drop rule. We haven't seen any this year. We have not seen any hip drop tackles.
No,
we haven't seen any.
Been less frequent.
That is true. There hasn't been any. They've reviewed a few, but they haven't confirmed that they've been hip drop tackles. But yeah, the Chris Godwin thing I said, was really interesting to me because I don't think personally he should have been in that situation there. A minute 30 left. I know you're trying to play to win. I think the game's already over at that point. You're down 10 points. The Ravens really aren't. They're just letting you play quarters basically. They're playing quarters. They're kind of just throwing the ball, wherever they need to in the middle of the field. But I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting one. I want to bring this one up here for you, though. Anthony Edwards and Justin Jefferson had this debate. If NFL players could play in the NBA and vice versa, what do you think of that? Do you think Anthony Edwards could play in the NFL? Do you think Justin Jefferson could play in the NBA?
No. I think that a basketball player would do way better at football than a football player would with basketball.
So you think Anthony Edwards? So let's just say Anthony Edwards. Do you think he could play in the NFL?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you could put. Yeah, I think so too. I
think there's way more athleticism over skill on the especially on the offensive side of the ball. Anthony Edwards could go in a game and catch 3 passes. As
easily.
A wide receiver.
Yeah. The Patriots could use Anthony Edwards.
Any power, maybe not a power forward, but like a small forward or a shooting guard could play tight end and catch a few balls.
Let's see. Bing's got an opinion.
But
Bing's got something to say here. Let's see what he's got to say.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so I would say I would disagree because, I mean, we saw Travis Hunter, like he was hooping and stuff. He's a football player. He showed in a position that if he gets to play basketball or whatever, he could really be in the league. Like he could be a good shooting guard. He could be a good scorer. He's a skilled player. I feel like a lot of NFL players are skilled. I feel like there's a stereotype that like, oh, if they're a football player, they play hard defense. Like they don't really have a jump shot. Like they're mainly a post player. Like they're driving. But I feel like there's especially like receivers, running backs, like people that are like even corners, like people that are skilled positions and stuff. Like a lot of them have good skill moves because they practice like basketball in their free time. Like they go to the gym, and they have that team chemistry. Like they know how to work out with their team and stuff. And I feel like for basketball players, like yes, you could say Anthony Edwards in this case. Yeah, Anthony Edwards, he played football, so he would be a good football player, of course. But if we're looking at like average, like basketball players, like I mean, I don't really know. Like, I mean, yeah, you could say like even the big man, like the front court, like yeah, they can be good linemen, or like the forwards and guards, like they can be good like receivers or secondary players. But I mean, I just feel like it's kind of it, I feel like it's about opinion. Like it's more about the player than really the general idea of like if a basketball player can play football or a football player can play basketball.
Yeah, I like that a lot. But Max, let's move on to the NFL storyline of today with this Wednesday morning. You go to bed, you wake up in the morning again, another wide receiver is traded. DeAndre Hopkins to the Chiefs. I texted you about that. I texted you that this morning. I mean, I guess, in my opinion, the rich get richer. I mean, yeah, DeAndre Hopkins is older. He's 32 years old. He hasn't really done anything on the Titans, but we've seen this type of situation before. We've seen this movie with receivers going to different teams. The culture changes. And I mean, half the Chiefs receivers are out right now and they go and get DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, I just think it's crazy to think about was for exchange for a fifth rounder that can get to a fourth rounder. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? DeAndre Hopkins to the Chiefs? I think it's a home run pick, if you ask me.
I think it's good. I don't know that it's really going to change the course of the. I mean, I might eat my words. We might see another DeAndre Hopkins like late game Hail Mary, but
you're right.
I don't see how it really changes the course of the season.
But the thing is, the Chiefs have been struggling, though. I know they're 6-0 and they just beat the Niners on the road. Their defense has played exceptional, but Mahomes has not played good this season. He has 6 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. So when you go and add a DeAndre Hopkins to the mix, and obviously I know Hollywood Brown is out right now. Xavier Worthy's a rookie. So there's a lot of different pieces there. Pacheco is out right now. Travis Kelce is really the main guy there. Juju Smith-Schuster got hurt with a hamstring injury. I don't know what happened to Sky Moore. McCole Hardman, obviously he's special teams guy. He comes in for some plays.
What about Kadarius Toney?
Nope, he got cut.
Bring him back.
No, I think DeAndre Hopkins is the perfect pickup for the Chiefs. Honestly, I think they really got him for a bag of chips. Remember when the Titans actually signed him in free agency, we were wondering, was he going to sign with the Bills? Was he going to sign with the Chiefs? And now here we are. The Chiefs finally trade for him. In my opinion, the rich get richer. And I think this trade is going to work out perfectly for the Chiefs. And Mahomes gets a big weapon.
Smiling over there.
Go ahead, say it. Go ahead.
I mean, I agree that he was a good fit, but this is not the same DeAndre Hopkins that obviously was in his prime and stuff. And I feel like Cooper Kupp, I feel like that would have been the perfect addition when they were trying to get Cooper Kupp. If he was with Mahomes or whatever, like I think his career would have been back because like we saw the difference of when Cooper Kupp had Jared Goff to when he had Matthew Stafford, and we saw how his career was like so much better. Like it like his stats were better. Like that was his Triple Crown year. Like he was like the best player in the league, and I feel like that now that he's kind of been on the edge. Like yes, he's had injuries and stuff, and he's had other things that's gone on. But I just feel like if he gets someone like Mahomes, like we saw even with Juju Smith, like Juju Smith was kind of falling off, and when he got Mahomes, like he performed way better. And I feel like something similar. I mean, Cooper Kupp's definitely way better than Juju Smith. So I feel like Cooper Kupp, he would be a superstar with Patrick Mahomes. And I don't feel like there's any question that they're going back to the Super Bowl if they would have got Cooper Kupp.
Oh, I mean, I think they're going to go. I think, yeah, I like that. I think they're going to go back to the Super Bowl regardless if they got Cooper Kupp, Jimmy Johnson down the road, Billy Bob Thornton. I don't even think it matters. Their defense is so good. They've been in these tight, close games, and the Chiefs are not even playing up to the level that they played last year. I mean, yes, we saw the Ravens game week 1, and they looked really good. But I mean,
they beat the Bengals by
they beat the
yes.
Refs. Well, yeah, if you want whatever you want to say, refs, this, that, the Chiefs are still the team to beat in the NFL until proven.
Where do you think Cooper Kupp ends up?
And I don't think they trade him. I really don't. I think that the Chiefs was the pick because the Chiefs said they were willing to take on some of his salary. I don't think they trade him at this point. I think that the Rams are bluffing. They know they feel like they're panicking at this moment because Cooper Kupp is tradable. Matthew Stafford's tradable. I don't think they'll trade him. I think that it'll be a really interesting offseason with the Rams because Matthew Stafford is only owed $4 million this offseason. Remains to be seen if the Rams will bring him back. And it remains to be seen what team, if the Rams move on from him, another team, I'm sure because Stafford can still play in the league, but no, I don't think they'll trade any of those guys there. But like I said, I think Hopkins to the Chiefs is a good pick. And the last thing I'll mention about the Hopkins thing here too, it's a different culture. When you're in Tennessee, right, you know, his production level, his numbers haven't looked the same. I was looking at his numbers earlier this morning. I don't even think he has a touchdown on the season, but you go from Will Levis to Patrick Mahomes and Callahan over there with a really losing culture. And then all of a sudden you go to the Chiefs, you got Andy Reid, you got Mahomes, you just won 2 straight Super Bowls. He's a veteran. I think it's a perfect fit for him. And honestly, you know what? I think he balls out for the Chiefs this season. He puts himself back on the map, and he does a damn good job. And you know what? We might even see a Randy Moss, Tom Brady situation with the Chiefs and DeAndre Hopkins the rest of the season because he's 32 years old. You may think that's old, but he's still in good shape. He can still play. He'll be fine. But This is a good one here. I want to kind of get your opinion about this. Bill Belichick pushes back against the whole Gerard Mayo claim that the Patriots are soft. Bill Belichick has been hammering the Patriots and Gerard Mayo this past week in the media on the McAfee show and just in general. But it kind of, as soon as I saw this, it reminded me of the Dan Mullen thing with the Gators. Obviously, Dan Mullen isn't on the scale that Bill Belichick is. However, Dan Mullen was kind of bashing the Gators, same type thing. You let me go, or I left, and now look at the team and look at the situation. And Bill Belichick was basically saying that the players are the same. They're not soft or whatever, but I don't know. I just think that it's easy for Belichick to say that now because he's not coaching and the record didn't show anything last year. But Patriots fans want Gerard Mayo fired. They shouldn't have hired him. They were looking at other options in the offseason. They're 1-6. It's 7 games in. It's a brand new regime. It's a brand new quarterback. To say that Gerard Mayo should be fired is absolutely insane. I mean, because the defense isn't playing the same, the offense, I just think that's absolutely insane. It's the same thing with Alabama and Nick Saban, and now DeBoer takes over for Alabama. Tennessee and Alabama played this past weekend. Tennessee beat Alabama. Munroe had an ugly pick. Well, the fans are so used to winning. Of course they're going to say that, but it's such an overreaction for Mayo to be fired, for DeBoer to be fired. I hate that whole narrative right there. Let them play out the season. Alabama, too, they're so used to winning. So when you sit there and they lose 2 games in the regular season, it's like everything is coming down crashing. But back to the Gerard Mayo point there. It's still early on. Drake May has actually played good his first 2 games. He shouldn't be fired. That's so stupid there. I don't know. What did you think of that?
Me or Bing?
Max. Yeah, you. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I always thought the Gerard Mayo thing was a little weird. He has no coaching experience, or at least head coaching experience. They like the internal guy, but yeah, you cannot judge somebody off of a start with no quarterbacks, a terrible team. It's a regime change. Yeah, like you said, if Dan, it's like Dan Campbell. He was would they go with his first season?
Well, I think they were. I think that was still 16-game season. I think that what were they? Did they go 4-12?
Yeah, you have to start from somewhere. You can't.
They went. The Lions went 3-13-1. Yeah, it's their first season. You have to start somewhere, exactly, because everyone gets in their mind of this narrative of, D'Amico Ryans and CJ Stroud, they went off and they did this amazing thing in CJ Stroud's first year and D'Amico Ryans' first year. It doesn't always work like that. It's not an overnight thing. It takes time. I mean, you could say hindsight 2020 shoulda, woulda, coulda. The Patriots should have went and got Mike Vrabel. They wanted to go with Gerard Mayo. I still think he's going to be okay. It's going to take some time. He hasn't felt this pressure because he was under Belichick. He played for the Patriots. So if anything, he knows what it's like. And, maybe they go get an offensive coordinator in the offseason. They go get some more pieces. They'll probably finish, like I said, in the top 2, top 3. And then you see how it goes from there. But it's an overreaction to say that Belichick or Gerard Mayo should be fired after 7 games in. But Max, you're going to like this one here, going back to the Bucs here. Mike Evans is now one of 11 players to reach 100 career touchdowns. Wow. Do you think, I want to open this one back up. Do you think Mike Evans is a first ballot Hall of Famer?
He has to be.
I think at this point you have to put him in as a first ballot wide receiver. Oh, in the first ballot Hall of Famer.
I mean, where does he rank on yards?
Oh, I know. I'm not sure. I know he's in the 10,000 mark.
Let's look it up.
He's 33rd in NFL history for receiving yards. He's less than 3,000 entering the top 10. Wow.
See, that's tough. I would say.
Yeah, you also have to look at his quarterbacks though too, and what he did. He did what, 10 straight years of 1,000 yards.
Yep, he's actually 30th now.
No, he's 30th. Yeah, it says right. Yeah, it said from. Yeah. Yeah,
wow,
it says
crazy. He's like.
He almost has 12.
Wow. He already has 12,000 yards. He is like 60 yards behind Hines Ward, but Hines Ward is not a Hall of Famer. Shockingly, I would have thought Hines Ward would have been with that ring with the. I would say, with the ring, Mike Evans probably has to be a Hall of Famer.
Pause. Hines Ward made the cut for the 2025 Hall of Fame.
Oh, he just got in.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, though. He's one of 3 former Steelers who's made the cut to 50 modern era players for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2025. So, yeah.
Made the cut, or he was inducted?
No. He made the cut for 2025. No, he hasn't gotten in yet. So he's on his way potentially. He's one. Yeah.
Reggie Wayne isn't a Hall of Famer. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to get in, man. I mean, T.O. didn't get in at first. We know that, of course. I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
I don't know if Andre Johnson got in at first. I know he just got in, but I mean, it's tough, man. It's one of the Baseball Hall of Fame's even harder. Oh my gosh, they don't let anybody in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, there's just so many players.
But
I think Mike Evans, does he play? Like he's got to play a few more years maybe, and then I think he's in.
I think he's definitely in the Mike Evans is definitely in the Hall of Fame. It's just about if he's going to get in as a first ballot, because he just became the 100 touchdowns already. He's got the 10 straight years of 1,000 yards. He's got a Super Bowl. He's probably going to break all the Bucs receiver records if he already hasn't. I'm sure he already has. So, however, yeah, I mean, I think Mike Evans is a first ballot Hall of Famer, but yeah. I think he'll get in. Dude, man, the Niners, man, they got hit with the injury bug. Brandon Ayuk's out with a torn ACL. Deebo Samuel's hurt. Kittle's hurt. McCaffrey is still out. Purdy had a rough game. Their wide receiver 1 right now is like Ricky Pearsall and former Gator and Jawan Jennings. So it's they are depleted to the max. But let's
I was supposed to pick up Jawan Jennings on my fantasy league, and
he got hurt.
I didn't know that.
Or he was hurt last weekend again when they played the Chiefs. But let's bring this one up here. Your favorite player, and he's actually I wouldn't say he's one of my favorite players, but I've always liked Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson versus Justin Fields. Everyone was giving the Steelers and Mike Tomlin shit for the Russell Wilson, bringing him in as QB1, and he did pretty damn good. So Russell Wilson should be the starter. I already told you this. He elevates that offense. They don't have a lot of offensive pieces as well. And actually throw this one in here. If there's one team that should trade for Cooper Kupp, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are missing a true wide receiver. They have George Pickens, but if you add a Cooper Kupp to that offense, that would help them out a lot. Najee Harris, he's so it's up and down with his play. The run game is still weird there. They don't really have any other receivers. Van Jefferson caught some nice passes, former Gator as well, this past Sunday. But yeah, I think the Steelers should stick with Russell Wilson at QB1. Justin Fields is a fun guy, but I don't think he's going to get you where you need to get to. The defense has played good. I understand Justin Fields is 4-2 as a starter, but Russ in his first game looked better than Fields in all of his starts combined. Just sitting back in the pocket, making vintage throws. Everyone was freaking out because Russell Wilson had that rusty first drive. from there on out, he looks pretty damn good to me. And Mike Tomlin said, that's why I get paid the big bucks. And you guys are basically the reporters. Let Mike Tomlin do his thing. Justin Fields should come into the game in certain packages, but he should not be QB1.
I don't think the NFL is a place for throwing in certain packages for a quarterback.
Well, I mean, hey, they did what Taysom Hill, the Saints did.
Yeah, that was a very unique situation.
Right. Yeah, so you think Justin Fields should be QB2 and Russell Wilson's QB1 for the I know you don't like Russell Wilson. You could
have a few trick plays, but like, is that really going to make your team any better? Yeah, maybe you score a touchdown off it, but
no.
Just, I don't know.
All right, let's bring this one into the conversation here. Tua Tagovailoa is officially returning from IR. He's been out since week 2. He said he will not be wearing a Guardian cap. He said he's going out there to play, and he'll be back. What do you think of Tua coming back this weekend against who are the Dolphins playing this weekend? Dolphins are they're playing the Cardinals. That's right. Right. Yes, correct. They're playing the Cardinals. So what do you think of Tua? What do you think of Tua coming back?
I mean, I didn't think he wasn't. I don't think he's ever gonna stop playing. Honestly.
Right.
I think. I don't know.
I think the NFL. I think the Dolphins and the NFL should, if you're going to come back, right? And I know he's his own person, his own individual, of course. I'm sure they've already urged that they should make him wear a Guardian cap. I mean, I think it would actually help him out a lot. I know he doesn't want to, but I think out of his own safety, because let's just say, I don't really want to say that. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say he gets another concussion now, because I like Tua as a person. It just sucks because he's been so hit by all these concussions, and man, I don't know.
What worries me is how weak of a hit that last one was.
Like,
He basically fell into DeMar Hamlin's chest, and and was out cold. And you see that, like, it just did not look like that hard of a hit to knock somebody out. You see a wide receiver hit a cornerback in the chest 15 times a game.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to see, how the Dolphins do, because I mean, the Dolphins right now, they're 2-4. They're kind of in a sink or swim. You don't want to go down 2-5. The Cardinals just beat the Chargers on Monday night there, this past Monday night. So you don't want to be 2-5. Tua's first game back, man, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how, let's bring this one. We're going to move into the NCAA here. Do you think Alabama will make the college football playoff? They are ranked 15th right now. They just lost to Tennessee. Obviously, we know they got upset by Vanderbilt a few weeks back, but Alabama now, it really on the hot seat. They play Missouri this weekend. I think they got to win out to get into the college football playoff, because I know it's a 12-team format, but they're 15th now. So, I mean, what do you think of that?
Yeah, they win out. I think they're good.
Man, I mean, it's crazy, because I don't remember the last time Alabama lost 2 games in a season. And I hate the whole thing. And I brought this up earlier. Nick Saban, it's all Saban. It's this, that, or DeBoer, Munroe, Alabama. Now they've lost 2 games. Like, what the hell? They're falling off. Alabama's not falling off. That's such a stupid thing to say. The SEC is getting better now with Texas and Oklahoma joining. Oklahoma kind of fell off, but Tennessee is not a bad team. It's on the road in Neyland. It's a big game. Yeah, the Vanderbilt game was inexcusable. You shouldn't have lost that. But in college football, it's any given Sunday, or it's any given Saturday, just like the NFL. It's an SEC matchup. Vanderbilt's actually looked pretty good this season. Obviously, they beat Bama, but Tennessee is no joke. Everyone's like, well, they beat Florida the week before, and they didn't look that good. Florida's not a bad team. They're not on the level of a Bama or Georgia or Texas or a Tennessee, but it's the SEC. It's a competitive conference. I wouldn't panic on Alabama yet. They did beat Georgia already, so they have that on their resume for the rest of the season. But yes, they do have to win out. They still have to play LSU. They got to play Missouri this weekend. Pretty sure they still have to play Ole Miss. So, I mean, yeah, they have to win out. But if they do, the conversation is going to arise just like last year with the whole FSU thing, except this year it's a 12-team playoff, and it remains to be seen if they'll get in. I think they will get in. I think they will get in, but we'll see how it goes from there. FSU, they played this past weekend against Duke. Are you just got the wheels completely off about FSU? You're just giving up?
I didn't even know FSU was still playing football.
They played Miami this weekend. CJ's going to the game.
Yeah, I was thinking about going.
Yeah, you're just no. Not even.
No, there's like I haven't watched the last 2 games. There's no reason to even turn it on.
Yeah, that was the Duke FSU game Friday night. Guardians and Yankees run.
We're so bad. It's not even worth talking about. It's like we'll talk about FSU in another 3 years when they somehow put it back together, but they're in a long rebuild.
I mean, go into FSU, being around the culture, being around fans, being around there for a long time, and this is their first rough season, I think, in a while, right? This is like they haven't had a season like this in a while because they had the couple Jordan Travis seasons. But do you think is there any possibility that Norvell they could move on from him after this season? If they keep stacking these losses, if they finish, let's say
FSU was terrible, Joe. FSU was terrible when I was there, and then 2 years ago, like. Last 2 years were all right.
Right. But I'm saying like this is all time. This is 1-6. This is bad.
I think Norvell goes if there's a better option on the market. Or
the boosters just buy him out.
I just feel like I don't think Norvell gets fired.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. If they don't have a better option. Like I think if they find a better option, then yeah. But they're not. I don't think. You know what? I don't know what's going on in the locker room, but
right.
I don't think they'll let him go.
How about let's go with this one here though? How about that Georgia-Texas game? Georgia ended up winning 30-15. Georgia actually came in at as underdogs at +5. Texas was favored by 5, and a lot of people had Texas winning that game. Ewers gets benched for Arch Manning in the second quarter. Man, Georgia did not look back. But this is the thing too. Texas, welcome to the SEC. They had their welcome to the SEC moment, and Georgia's still right there. Obviously they beat Texas, but just because they lost to Alabama a few weeks ago didn't mean Georgia fell off. They're still right there. I still think Georgia's the team to beat in college football compared to the rest of the teams. I think they're better than Oregon. I think they're better than Ohio State. I think they're the team to beat still. I still think the SEC is the best conference in college football, and I think Georgia, finds their way there at the end. But Texas, man, that was a big loss for them. That would have been a big win. It would have been a big statement win for them against Georgia, but Georgia's not going anywhere. I know Bing's shaking his head. Georgia will put 15, would hang 40 on Ohio State. You guys lost to Oregon. Ohio State's not that good. Will Howard's not that good.
Oh, Bing, you're Ohio State fan.
He's a big Ohio State guy. You guys are overrated. You guys can never get to the promised land every single year. Trust me. No. Ohio State, no. Nope.
If Bama can be Georgia, Ohio State can be Georgia. Let's be honest.
Bama's better than I'd take Bama over Ohio State.
Right now? No. No.
Yeah, 100%.
Only team Ohio State's lost to is Oregon.
You guys don't play anybody. You guys get your first big matchup and you lose. You get
and Oregon's
look at your schedule.
They're the number one team in college football right now.
No, to be fair, Joe, they lost by 1 to the number 1 team in college football.
That's what I'm saying.
That's nothing to scoff at.
I mean, at the same,
we'll see November 2nd when they play Penn State. That'll be a real.
I will say Georgia did beat Texas when Texas was number 1, though, so I'll give them that credit.
And Georgia also went into Texas and beat Texas. They didn't play them at home or a neutral site. They went in there and they wiped the floor with them. They were up 23-0 at one point. They were dominating that game from the line of scrimmage.
But since you brought up that point, I think we talked about this like after Michigan won the championship. So you were saying you think the SEC is way better than the Big Ten. Do you think they still are?
I think the SEC is still the best conference for sure. Yeah. You have Texas now. You still have Georgia. You still have Alabama.
The SEC would beat the Carolina Panthers.
I didn't say everybody.
Everybody's crazy. I thought.
I didn't say that. He's kidding. I didn't say that. I said. I think Alabama. We'll have that conversation for another day. However, though, the rest of this college football season will be a good one. I'm excited for that, Max. But yeah, let's bring up this Heisman conversation here real quick. Then we'll briefly go to DJ Lagway and the Gators. But Gentie didn't play last week because they were on a bye. They play UNLV this week. This Heisman race, man. Gentie obviously didn't play this past week, and Travis Hunter, didn't play his best. Obviously, even though Colorado beat Arizona 34-7, I think this is a two-way race right now with Jeanty and Cam Ward. I really do. And Cam Ward, put on another good performance against Louisville. I think he had 5 touchdowns. I'd say this is a quarterback heavy award. I was talking about this earlier today. I think if Cam Ward, finishes out the way he does, it's going to be hard not to give it to him. man, it's going back and forth every week. I mean, obviously it's Gentie's to lose right now, but if Cam Ward continues to play like the way he's playing, it's hard not to give it to him. Especially because the Heisman committee loves giving it to quarterbacks. RG3, Tebow, Sam Bradford, Burrow, Bryce Young, Lamar. I mean, and Gentie's having an amazing season too.
MVP. It's
right. It's a quarterback heavy,
most important position. It's
a quarterback heavy driven award.
It's not the award. It's just the nature of football.
Well, but still, it's a quarterback award.
Right, because they're the most important player on the field. That's not necessarily because the Heisman favors quarterbacks. It's because football favors quarterbacks.
Yeah, but still, it's still been a quarterback heavy award year in and year out. The Heisman and the MVP. It's just how it is. Quarterback's the best position, but I'm just saying
exactly.
But they give. Yes, we do. But I'm saying it sucks because if Gentie's having the season that he's having,
you have to be a really good running back to be more influential in a game than a quarterback.
Has he though?
If he keeps on pace, there is no question at all that he's the Heisman winner.
Yeah, Cam Ward's having an amazing season as well too. I don't if Cam Ward can get Miami. Oh, they already. I keep wiping this part from my brain. If they get into the playoffs, they already are because it's a 12-team format. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Let's move on to the WNBA though briefly, Max. This is really, really interesting. WNBA players opt out of agreement and ask for higher salaries after record-breaking season. This is a new era. I mean, I just think that's insane. Could we have a lockout in the WNBA? I mean, players are already preparing to leave the WNBA.
And I mean, it's kind of crazy to ask for more money when a league doesn't even make money.
And the only reason why the WNBA was relevant last year was because of Caitlin Clark, who won the Rookie of the Year. He was the first rookie to make WNBA first team in 16 years. Last time a rookie actually won MVP and Rookie of the Year in the same year was Candace Parker. But yeah, Caitlin Clark put the WNBA on the map. But yeah, it's insane to think about that. There might not be a WNBA season next year. Let me ask you this. Do you think we could potentially have a live golf situation where a league they're preparing for another league and they pay these players a bunch of money and they go over there? Could we potentially see that?
I don't know why they would do that. I mean, certainly there's room in the market to try to make a profitable league because the WNBA, but it would be a very poor business venture to try to start a women's basketball organization.
So there actually, So there actually is one here.
Don't make profit.
The new unrivaled women's basketball league is reportedly exploring a major Lionel Messi contract to Caitlin Clark. Wow. Holy shit. That's insane. I did see something that she was the fourth most marketable player in all of sports this past year. I wrote it down in my notes, but that's crazy to think about. Wow. I mean, if WNBA, they don't have a WNBA season next year. I mean, some people won't care, but if another league comes into play, the WNBA might not get, the WNBA won't do that. They'll figure something out with the NBA. They won't, meaning like they won't just go under or down the tubes like that. There's no way. But going on to the NBA here, how about the Celtics and the Knicks last night? Celtics won on opening night. They got their rings. They tied the record for most threes of all time with 29. I wrote that one down. That was pretty cool. But T-Wolves Lakers, Bronny and LeBron, first father-son duo in NBA history. That was pretty cool to see. The Timberwolves looked like a different team without Karl Anthony Towns last night. They really did. I know they're still a good defensive team, but offensively, they looked rough at times. They really did. JJ Redick made his.
How many games do you think Bronny plays?
Oh yeah,
he gets
here we go. You know what? Actually, I'm glad you brought that up because actually,
I think he'll play the first month and then he'll spend the rest of the year in the G League.
You know what?
He played 3 minutes yesterday.
Yeah, he played like 2 minutes. He came in.
He doesn't have a role.
You know, the thing is, I've got two things. The one main one I'll stick on this one here with Bronny. I just think that LeBron is so influential in the Lakers organization and the stuff behind closed doors. I don't think he's going to let it happen. I really don't. I don't think so. I think it's like you pull my kid from the soccer team, we're leaving the school. I just really don't see the Lakers doing that because they know obviously it's going to sell tickets. Anytime LeBron and Bronny check into the games together, they're going to talk about it on the broadcast. So I don't think they're going to do it. At first I thought the strategical thing was let him go down to the G League, let him develop. But LeBron is playing his last few years in LA. He's not going to leave. He's just riding he's just riding it out at this point. See how they do with JJ Redick. They looked like a better team last night. But I don't think LeBron will let Bronny James go down to the G League. I really don't. The smart thing would be, but
they would let it. I think they would.
I don't think so.
LeBron would not. I think LeBron would be.
I don't think so. I really don't.
Hardly played in college. Like he hasn't really played much in 2 or 3 years. He needs some game.
He does, but I think like he said, they were interviewing him last night. Taylor Rooks, she was interviewing him last night, LeBron and Bronny. And LeBron said, I missed so much time with my son that, I'm getting that time back now being around him. I think LeBron obviously, you want to be around your son, of course, in that situation there, but I think behind closed doors with Jeannie Buss, LeBron is like, you pull Bronny, you bring him down to the G League. I might retire early or I might just not play full throttle. But yeah, remains to be seen. It'd be interesting to see if the Lakers, do send him down and, it kind of goes from there. But you're a big YouTube TV guy. So I was watching the Sunday night game. I was watching the Dodgers and the Mets. I was watching the Steelers and the Jets. And then on the bottom screen, they had the WNBA like as a third screen. Usually it's just either you got the quad with the 4 or you got the 2, one next to each other. You could not get it off of YouTube TV. People were like pissed off on social media. I was sitting there watching the game and I was like, I can't remove it. I can't remove it. I can't remove it. And people were like, why the hell do I have to watch the WNBA when the Steelers and the Jets are on and it's, the last game or game 6 of the World Series and I can't watch the double. So I saw a thing, somebody put a towel over the WNBA screen. But
I still don't know why. It must be some sort of streaming rights that YouTube TV doesn't let you select what is what.
Yep.
It's so weird. It must be some sort of streaming advertising thing because otherwise they would just let you do it.
Well, that's what I was telling Trig. We were watching the game and I was like, dude, it's not letting me remove it. It's not letting me remove it. So I kept going back to it. And then I removed that one and I'm like, it's not working. So I think you're right. It's definitely a streaming thing, but yeah, so the YouTube TV actually sponsored the WNBA finals. They forced the viewers to watch and multi-view along with the NFL and the NLCS game. But
to be fair, though,
it was kind of annoying.
It doesn't make the game any smaller.
No, it just puts the third one. It's just a distraction.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was just weird to see. But Mox, Halloween is next week. We talked about this actually last year on the podcast. I don't think we talked about Halloween movies though. Would you got a favorite Halloween movie of all time?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that one.
All right,
I do.
I'll give you some Halloween movies out of these 5 here. You tell me if you like any of these. You got Halloween, of course, with Michael Myers, Ash and Gentie, Hocus Pocus, Haunted Mansion, The Silence of the Lambs, Casper, I guess. I found a list anyways. Then The Night Before Christmas, which they do consider a Halloween movie. Anyways, out of those 5, what's your favorite?
I don't know if I've seen Casper. Casper is great.
Yeah. Casper's goated with the sauce, man.
Yeah, I don't know that I've seen any. I don't know if I've seen any of those movies.
You've definitely seen Hocus Pocus.
Was that
the sisters?
Movie?
The Sanson sisters?
I can't remember that one.
What? That Hocus Pocus is one of the best Halloween movies of all time.
I've never seen it.
Neither have I.
Christmas.
Neither have I. But I think Hocus Pocus is up there, top 3 for sure.
Haunted Mansion is the one
Eddie Murphy
recently, right? Yeah.
Eddie Murphy. Oh, recently I thought it was like 2006, right? Are you saying like you're thinking of the recently. Oh yeah, you're thinking of remix. No, that's budget.
I watched that one, the recent one.
2003. Wow, 2003 with Eddie Murphy. That one's sick. I actually went on the roller coaster. I went on like the thing they do. I think I have it at Disney. They have it at Disney. Yeah, duh, not Universal, but they have it at Disney, and you can kind of go through the mansion. It's pretty cool. But yeah, man, I'm excited for Halloween. I'm kind of bummed because people said they're celebrating Halloween this weekend. I'm not going to be here, but people said they're celebrating Halloween this weekend, so I'm kind of bummed. Do you have any plans of dressing up for Halloween?
I don't know, Joe. I was supposed to be working on Halloween night, but
no, next Thursday night. Yeah,
I was supposed to be working that photo booth that you did with me.
Yeah. The old ladies and old.
My parents are gonna work it, so I'm free. So my neighborhood is having a little trick or treating event, so maybe we'll go give out candy.
You guys can hand out candy.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Halloween candy? I asked you. I don't remember what you said last year.
I really like candy corn.
Dude, candy corn is the worst.
What are you candy corn is great.
No, we had this conversation last year.
I don't know if this counts as a Halloween candy, but this is just a candy in general. I think Twizzlers is the best candy ever.
You said this last year. Yes.
Yes. Twizzlers is the best candy of all time because it's not too sweet. So you can eat an unlimited amount of Twizzlers and never get oversweet. Like you eat one bar of like chocolate and you're like, oh, this is sweetness overload. You can just eat Twizzlers for days. Like you get one of those big buckets from Costco. You can just eat them for days.
Bucket. I didn't even know they had the buckets. I know. I like Twizzlers.
All right. Red Vines.
Oh, LeBron likes the red vines.
Yeah, Twizzlers better, but whatever.
If you were to give your three Halloween candies, like let's just say you rank them 1, 2, and 3, go.
Okay. Twix. Twix.
Okay.
Always get eaten first.
So Twix is 1.
Twix is 1.
Okay.
Unless I come up with something better.
Okay.
You know what I've really liked lately? This is like this is not a classic, but Mr. Beast chocolate is
yeah, but that's not a Halloween. I haven't had it yet, but that's really not a Halloween candy though. You're putting that in the pillow? No, you're not.
When I was a kid, I used to like Tootsie Rolls a lot.
Oh, they're okay.
I'm not a big Tootsie Roll fan anymore.
The Tootsie Pops are the worst. Ugh.
Okay, Twix.
Okay, Twix.
Dude, Twix is up there, man. I think
Twix is gas. Twix is gas.
Twix might top my list. I don't know if I have it. Twizzlers go on there. Twizzlers and then Tootsie Rolls.
Twizzlers, Tootsie Rolls. You got one more. 3.
Twix,
Twizzlers, Tootsie Rolls. 3 T's.
Tootsie Rolls. Yeah.
3 T's with a twisted T.
Like Twizzlers is the best candy of all time. There's no question.
Nah, okay. All right. I'll give my Halloween candies. I go Haribo gummy bears for sure. What do you mean? Wow, Haribo gummy bears are unmatched.
That's not a candy. They don't hand that out at Halloween though.
Why don't they? Yes, they do. They handed it out at our office today. They have them in the Halloween box, the little pumpkin things. What do you mean it's not a Halloween candy? They hand out every single candy. Yeah, just a little bag, not the big one, just a little one like this. All right.
Joey.
What?
Like M&Ms.
Yeah.
Like caramel M&Ms or
No,
M&Ms.
you got to go classic. You don't get to go
pieces, Joe.
Yeah. Okay, all right, fine. So I'll go. I got Reese's in there for sure. I got Haribo gummy bears, and a third one. Man, I love candy. I mean, Skittles is kind of unmatched. I mean, Skittles are so good. The Sour Patch the Sour Patch watermelons though, so fire. It's either so many. This is like naming like this is like
popular opinion.
This is like naming Taylor Swift songs.
Oh, Raisinets. I get Raisinets every time I go to the movie theater. Raisinets are the best candy ever.
Oh, those are gross. Those are right there with Almond Joys.
Phenomenal. No, Raisinets are unbelievable.
No, those are horrible. Yes. So you can't put those in your top 3 though.
Raisinets is my movie theater food for sure.
Yeah, but that's not Halloween candy. No, if I go to
candy doesn't change. I'm just telling you.
Oh, okay. You're saying Raisinets. Okay. Yeah, for me, it's dude. There's so many good. All right, fine. Halloween. Yeah, I got the Haribo gummy bears. I got those watermelon Sour Patch Kids. Those are so freaking good. And I'll throw Skittles. Oh no, you got to go chocolate. I'll go Reese's. Reese's are so fire. Snickers are so God, dude. There's so many freaking good candies. Oh, I wish somebody was having a Halloween party. Yeah, but not like Reese's. Not like Reese's. Max, I'll just briefly say this. I started watching Love is Blind finally, season 7, episode 1. People said you should have started on season 1. Like, oh well, I get what you're saying on season 7 because because what's going on right now, the season's going on, dude. That show, the premise is insane. They literally sit in pods. We had this conversation last year on the podcast. They sit in pods. They don't know what the other person looks like, and they're like writing all these things down. They're writing all these notes about like, see if there's any similarities there. It's insane. One of the girls, her name's Hannah, she quit her job to find love and go on the show. I'm only on episode 1, so I don't know what else goes on in the rest of the season. But dude, the premise of the show is just insane. I can't believe it. There's actually like a former sports player on there. He's not like big or anything, but man, is it an interesting show. They literally sit in pods. They don't know what the person looks like. They go on there, and it's just, I don't know. The premise is just nuts. Terrific. Imagine that going on there. Don't know what the person looks like. You're sitting there. God knows how long they're actually having a conversation for. And they have to see if they want to get together. Some of them get together like right after, like we're a match, we're getting married or not or whatever, but it's insane. You'll have to, I think you should watch it actually. We were told to watch this last year. I'm still waiting for you to watch it. I finally turned it on and I watched it. But yeah. I think you have to. Have you been binging any shows lately?
I watched the show Chaos on Netflix, and it was meh. It was all right, and it got canceled before it was over. So
what is it?
It's a show about like it's a show about Greek gods.
Like you.
Yeah, exactly. If instead of Christianity being the dominant religion in the world, Greek mythology was the dominant religion in the world.
Interesting. And it got canceled.
Jesus and crosses, they're all like worshiping Zeus and like lightning bolts.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow. But well, I think I actually got a show for you to watch, Grotesquerie with Travis Kelce. Oh, I haven't watched it yet, but I think you should watch Grotesquerie on FX. But we'll briefly talk about that. Max, actually, some people we knew went to the Eras Tour Taylor Swift Friday night. They were a lucky son of a guns. It looked like a blast. Ooh. Max, Tom Brady was there.
Really?
Yeah, he went with his kids. Sabrina was there. Hannah Levinson, she was there. A couple of the people I knew. But it looked like, and Nick Hamilton's sister actually went. A lot of people that I knew, I was like, it's kind of cool. The people that I actually knew actually went to the tour. So, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty cool to see some people I knew. It looked like an amazing show. Yeah, Tom Brady actually went. He had his friendship bracelet on, which was kind of funny.
Yeah, Joe.
Serena Williams was there. Yep. But yeah, I mean, I think that does it for us. You got any more Halloween things to add, or are we done?
I think we're good. I'm about to go cook a pizza, Joe.
Oh, you didn't buy a pizza?
No. Hannah's downstairs making pizza.
You're cooking the pizza. All right. Well, this last thing I'll say, I'm keeping my Halloween costume under the radar this year. You won't know what I'm going to be. I'm still deciding between a few things. If you guess and you guess, I still won't tell you. However, we got the Dodgers-Yankees World Series coming up this Friday night. The Yankees' first time in 15 years of the World Series. It's going to be a great one. Max, will Ohtani get his first ring? We shall see. As always, guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We're at 945 subscribers. Thanks again for Andrew Bing for coming on the podcast. He is a Howard student, and he is rolling with some sports stuff there. It was great to hear his insight and his takes. He is a big Ohio State fan. We found that out tonight on the podcast. We know where he stands in the collegiate football world. But as always, guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to follow Max's YouTube as well. Hit that subscribe button on there. Max puts out some pretty cool content for video people. He's got his cameras right there as well. We will see you guys next time. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Peace.